let's jump into Final Space.
And the fucked cruise gets more fucked.
Like, dude, they opened that shit up with Lord Commander fucking killing Bolo, and I was just like, yo, dude, that,
He
like it was nothing, too.
his fucking head off, just grabbed him and yoink.
And, like, Bola, like, at least put up much more of a fight with other Titans, but jeez, between Bolo and Lord Commander, the rest of the Titans don't seem like shit at this point.
You saw the end of the episode, this man laid them all out like they were nothing.
Like,
This thing has far too much power now.
seriously.
Far too much power.
Like, if there was any form of reasoning as to why Lord Commander should never be a Titan, there it is. Because at this point, it's hard to tell who's the bigger threat, Invictus or Lord Commander.
At this point, I kind of want to see them duke it out, because it's just like, clearly Lord Commander's got beef with Invictus, and I want to see them kill each other.
I mean, it would be wishful thinking that they kill each other, but whoever comes out on top, we all lose. That's how this always works out.
True. I like the idea of one less threat.
True. You're not wrong there.
I just love how Bolo's fucking last words were "peace out." Like, bro, you giving up right now? Right now?
No, I have to assume that Bolo just was done. He was tired. There was nothing else for him.
You know what else was depressing? That one Gary they purged of Invictus.
Oh, jeez.
Good lord, that man had suffered far too fucking much.
The moment they purged Invictus out of him and he started speaking, I'm just like, oh no, this was a mistake. You've gained nothing from this. Just sadness. Just sadness.
But he actually did put them on track to figure out that there were a lot, and I do mean a lot, of different iterations of Earth in Final Space.
Yeah.
It seems like whenever he closes the breach, it takes Earth into Final Space. Remember that question you had the other day about, like, was this always the case? I think it was always the case.
Yeah. Like, seriously. And it's just like, oh, Invictus was amassing an army of Titans. And, like, they're all iterations, so it's potentially an infinite amount of Titans. Like, there could be no end to the amount of Titan forces that Invictus could have. Like, how the fuck do you even stop all that? They'd have to kill Invictus, but, well, at this point, they've kind of decided, yeah, we're just gonna leave Final Space.
I mean, realistically, at this point, best thing you can do.
Yeah. Like, I love the fact that my question from last week has kind of been addressed to a certain degree, because my question was, it's just like, I'm surprised that all of them were on board with just staying in Final Space, and none of them jumped at the chance to leave, and then Avocado brought it up, and it was just like, hell, even Quinn, calls him out on that. It's just like, look, man, I didn't see you boarding the ship to get the fuck out of here when you had the chance, so...
Yeah, but thankfully everyone starts kind of like coming forward about it. It's like, listen, we've all got Final Space poisoning. We need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So I have to imagine that most of the team squad is going to, in fact, be getting out of Final Space. this is at least what I would do in this situation. Anyone who cannot survive in final space has got to get the fuck out of the space.
Out of the space that is final.
Exactly. And then anybody who can stay in final space is probably going to have to stay behind to fight off this bullshit. I see that being a very strong possibility. There are 2 episodes left in the season. That might be how this ends up.
More than likely. Hopefully, they're able to actually get to the goddamn portal and nothing happens to it.
That's the problem, isn't it? There's no guarantee that there won't be a problem, nor that that problem won't be just completely insurmountable for them, because they have, just like every season, they've been taking some hits.
Right?
Hard, painful hits.
Like right up the bumhole.
Yeah,
Way up inside the butt.
yeah. I'm I'm pretty sure Ash is going to betray them. They're hinting at it a lot.
Yeah,
It makes me sad because I don't want to see that.
that's the one thing I've been honestly immensely unhappy about, and that's the fact that Ash is leaning more and more towards the side of betraying them, and it's just like, come on, Ash. After everything you guys have been through, and at the same time, it's just like, yeah. After you look at everything that they've been through, I'm just kind of like, if someone were contemplating, thinking, maybe I've joined the wrong team on this one, I can't really say that I blame them.
It's funny because I was thinking like in that situation whether or not I'm on the right team. Well, then again, yes, if she's on the right side, in that are the people she's with really looking out for her well-being?
Hmm.
I
With
feel like she's got that thought in mind, and that's a perfectly valid thought. But the thing is, you have to have that same thought about Invictus. Does it really have your best interests in mind? Be real with yourself, Ash.
yeah, like seriously, the moment he was just like, yes, you know, nobody will have to die after you help me kill all of your former friends. Like, I don't know, Ash. You make certain things sound nice, but the method behind it sounds absolutely awful. So, I need you to think long and hard about what you choose here, baby girl.
Yeah, can't tell her to get over her brother's death, but fuck, dude, she is not taking it well. Really
Eh,
not taking it.
well, that and the forced puberty she underwent went from, what was it, 16 to 18 within the span of a few hours.
True.
There was that, and only other real talking point is just Quinn kind of having no choice but to see that. And this is something that's always kind of been a part of her character, and that's the fact that she gets so single mindedly focused on a specific goal, she doesn't always see everything else going on around her. And Avocado really kind of called her out on that. But ever since she kind of went into the breach and we were dealing with Nightfall and all that, who was just so committed to Gary, and now we're back to, season one Quinn, but with a little bit of development. It almost feels like a moment that comes out of nowhere, but at the same time, if you know what happened in season one a few times, where she outright almost left their asses because of her own mission, you can kind of see it. I don't know. I don't know. I wanted to ask you how you felt about all of that.
Same thing. It tracks. Is deeply committed to her goal. She wants to be really effective. She wants to minimize death as much as possible. And in her eyes, at the beginning of this episode, she saw it as eliminating the biggest threat. When fast forward to the end of the episode, she sees that like a good amount of the crew really need to get the fuck out of there or they're going to die. It's just like, I don't want to watch these people die. I kind of need to change my priorities here. Avocado has raised a good point. I am a fool.
Hmm.
You picture Quinn, Ash, and Mooncake staying behind to do some fighting in Final Space.
Honestly, yeah. Because at this point, they're the only ones who wouldn't be susceptible to the sickness or anything like that. So, if something like that were to actually happen to anyone, it would make sense for it to be them.
Now, I'm just wondering, you know what? They might not actually be able to get back to Final Space if they go through and the dimensional portal gets destroyed. There's nobody else to build another. There's nobody else to build another one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, there is the possibility, and that's something I was thinking about too, that, well, actually, no. I was going to say there was the possibility that another Kevin might exist on Earth, but the only reason he was even in the position that he was in was because of Nightfall, and there was only ever one iteration of Nightfall, so yeah. No, they'd be fucked. Damn, I answered my own question. Never mind.
Guess we'll see how this time loop shenaniganry goes on.
Yeah,
I hope
honest.
I hope for a happy ending, but I know that with Final Space, you're always going to get a bittersweet one at best.
Yeah, honestly, I have to agree with that. It This show really knows how to throw you for a loop, and you're never quite ready for what it brings. You can only hope that it brings you something good.
Which sometimes it does, but usually that's just the icing on top of the shit sandwich. I did kind of love the dialogue between Invictus and the Lord Commander, especially the part just before the fight started, where he said, "I need to remind you just who I am." He's like, "Get on with it, then." I'm just like, "Oh shit, you want the smoke?"
I mean, let's be real. It was a long time coming. Like, Lord Commander is a lot of things, but someone's bitch, not so much.
Yeah, he absolutely refuses to be someone's bitch, and well, we were very casually reminded of that. Man went off on every single Titan he could get his hands on.
Mm.
I mean, Quinn, good news. The Lord Commander is kind of taking care of your biggest problem. All you got to do is get rid of all those dead Earths, and you're good.
Oh god. Wouldn't it be fucked up if instead of Invictus, the Lord Commander takes all of Invictus's power and basically becomes the new Invictus?
That's entirely possible. That
Like
would be just like the most fucked thing to happen, but it would be entirely possible.
Like, it is literally the most fucked thing that could happen at this point, because it's just like from here on out, there's nothing really off the table. And if you wanted to bring, the threat of Lord Commander to an entire tier higher, that's the only other step.
God, I'm just picturing that. That is going to be terrifying. What do you think Commander would do with all those Garys?
Oh god. I'd say have them fight to the death, but, zombie Garys.
I don't know why, but I picture him just making them into a giant mass of Garys. to create some sort of giant shape, either his own or Gary, just to fuck with Gary.
Ugh. Regardless of what it ends up being, it'll probably be traumatizing in some way, shape, or fashion.
That's what I'm hoping for. Something is wrong with me.
Uh, it's just this show. The frame of mind it brings you into is, well, it's not healthy, honestly.
You just want to see these characters succeed. You really do. Every time like you see them fail, you hurt inside because you're just like, oh, you didn't deserve to lose like that. You
Mm,
did everything right. Well, no, sometimes they do everything right and they still lose. Other times they fucked up royal.
yeah.
Fox was one of those fucked up royal kind of things. Like, bruh, you ran in half cocked.
Yeah, it was, it made that whole instance of Gary finding about his sword arm seem, a lot more like we probably shouldn't have figured that out just yet.
Tell me about it. Fucking tell me about it. How are you going to introduce one of the coolest mechanics and then immediately turn it on us? How
Right?
dare you?
Like, damn. Like that should have in most series that would have been a moment of triumph. It's just like our main character has leveled up. He's even better than he ever could have been before. This is going to be amazing. One of the first most memorable things he ever does with it is well, honestly shoot the Lord Commander, but it's Stab Fox and no bueno. No bueno, dude.
Why do you hurt us, Olin Rogers? Why do you hurt us like this? Why do I let you hurt me like this?
Right. The series is like the biggest abusive relationship possible.
I mean, seriously.
And just think, he wants 4 more seasons.
I want 4 more seasons.
So do I.
But yeah, that's about all I got left for Final Space. We can move on to M.O.D.O.K.
Oof. Yes, M.O.D.O.K. Okay. I actually wasn't expecting you to have watched this.
Wasn't expecting me to have watched it either, but I saw that trailer and I thought this is going to be really good. And if I bother to take the time out for it, I'm probably going to enjoy it. I swear, from the opening, you have a big, beautiful, womb-wrecking head. It's just like, yep, I'm in. This show has that kind of humor, and I'm here for it.
Like, oh man. I won't lie, this show was kind of hit or miss for me in certain places, but I really enjoyed it all the way through. It was surreal, it was out there, it was weird. Seth Green continues to bring his A game when it comes to stop motion, and I'm all for it.
I leave him on the animation department, though.
Yeah.
Patton, Os-
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt, you are writing fucking genius. Your writing is genius. I mean, how the fuck does this man use? How the fuck does this man outright admit he can't please his wife and use that as a sick burn on Wonder Man? How the fuck did that happen?
Oh man, that was a treasure. Jeez. Freaking Wonder Man. That whole episode with Wonder Man though was kind of a surreal situation, to be honest.
Makes you say that?
Just because it was the instance of God, I'm blanking on the wife's name.
Jody.
Jody. It was her basically manipulating Wonder Man and M.O.D.O.K the way that she was just to push a book deal.
I
And
Ow! I
I,
can't believe she went that far.
cause honestly, Wonder Man said it best. It's just like you kind of wonder how someone like her could end up marrying a literal, and I mean literal,
Literal
villain.
supervillain.
And there it was, and it's just like, okay, there it is. Well, damn.
Yup. Yup. I think the best part, the absolute best part, had to be the fact that okay, so the episode where they go back in time and the time
Mm.
shenanigans bullshit happens, and you see him and his wife, and they just stand together outside their home all those years and say like, "Oh, we're meant to be together" and all that.
Oof.
Like it's cute, and I think, okay, well, clearly that was just a joke that went nowhere. But then you see how she behaves throughout the season. It's just like, maybe they are meant to be together. And honestly, when he went on about the whole, like, when you're done giving her orgasms, she'll come back to me. I'm just like, what?
Oh my god, it's so fucked up. It's
It's
so
like,
fucked.
it is, but like, he basically just said, like, listen, we have a connection. Clearly, it wasn't the sex, but we had a connection. Also, I love that his daughter is just a straight savage.
Oof.
I fucking love Melissa.
She is basically the embodiment of a teenager who has knows what she's about, and what she's about is tearing people down in ways that they will never recover from.
Yeah. Also, apparently, she's about that life.
Mm.
First one to fucking get rid of her robot clones immediately. It's like, fuck it. The real one will win the fight.
You got that right. Also, Ben Schwartz was not ready for him. I was not ready for him to be in this series at all. And he was. God. He really just has one character that he plays, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, right now, that one character is what's making him money. He's really just riding on the typecast.
Because between Rise of the TMNT, DuckTales, and Sonic the Hedgehog, I honestly just wanted Lou to have a bright blue shirt. That's all he needed.
Oh man, this fucking they had that whole episode they had with the kobolds, and M.O.D.O.K really just sent Asgardian soldiers without shields just so he could have his metal figurines.
God. It's just. Sometimes it's just like. You're so competent, but at the same time, you're so terrible. I never know how to take you.
M.O.D.O.K is clearly one of these characters who can fail upwards.
Yeah. Honestly, jeez, even going off of the comics, sometimes it's just like, M.O.D.O.K, how do you actually run this place? Because it raises a lot of questions. But that's why you have characters like Monica, who usually ends up taking over the entire company from time to time.
Yeah, because, well, let's face it, M.O.D.O.K has a giant ego problem, and he is off his high-tech chair.
Honestly, I loved how they portrayed Monica in this series because if you've ever read the comics, it's just like, yeah, honestly, this is about the direction you would go with her in terms of a sitcom. Because she's fucking nuts. She's basically Azula. She is basically Azula with super science.
Yeah, I got that. My dang shoulder!
My other dang shoulder! Like, what the fuck? That whole fight was so reminiscent uh, of Rick and Morty. I won't lie. Like, that was some Rick
Yeah,
and Morty ass shit right there.
I love it. It was fucking great. Wouldn't be surprised if there was a crossover at some point.
Oh no. The fleet. That would be too much. Everything would be destroyed.
Now the question remains: who starts the who starts the conflict, or is it a hands-on-sight situation?
Rick says something really insulting. M.O.D.O.K takes immediate offense to that. Rick immediately starts commenting on how poorly designed most of what M.O.D.O.K does. M.O.D.O.K shoots the first shot. Rick retaliates.
Damn, you fucking laid that shit out right there for everybody.
I've watched enough of both of these things to understand how this would go. But honestly, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested.
I do love let's see. I love M.O.D.O.K's family, every member. They're first off, they are hilarious.
Yeah.
Even Lou, I mean, even if he is just Ben Schwartz, just like I'm happy to have you here, Ben Schwartz. You bring the right amount of energy to round this whole thing out. The Melissa's very sad. Jody is. I have a hard time deciding where I stand with Jody.
The equivalent of what a millennial would probably be if she was dating a supervillain.
Yes, exactly that. And that makes me uneasy, but at the same time, it's just like I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I have mixed feelings about Jody.
Yeah, no, that's really is the thing. From the start, it's just like I'm not sure how to take her, as I'm not sure if we're playing up the fact that M.O.D.O.K's wife seems so normal. If we're just playing that up for laughs, but the more we get to know her, it's just like, I see. We're going for basically Lois with her. Gotcha.
Damn. Damn. Well, shit. When you put it that way, it's kind of hard to argue.
I mean, look, Lois has done some shit in certain episodes of Family Guy that I'm just like,
She's really no better than Peter.
no, not at all. It really just takes you off guard, like, Lois, you've done this enough times to the point where I've stopped questioning if you're a good person and just immediately started questioning how many good things do you actually do in your life.
At this point with Family Guy, I think that list is just getting like lower and lower.
Yeah, exactly. At
But we're
least,
not talking Family Guy. We're talking M.O.D.O.K.
yeah. And with Jody, it feels like we've just kind of cut out a lot of the questions of whether or not she's a good person and just kind of gone with, it depends on what day you catch her on, honestly.
Exactly. I mean, she wants to be a good mother. You give her that.
Yeah. Though she's not above using her children.
No, no, she's not. That is something that I don't think changes amongst the generations. At
No.
least amongst unhealthy people.
Though, what were your thoughts on the super adaptoid?
I didn't understand why he was the butt monkey.
What's to be understood?
Well, I don't really know much about the character per se, but god damn, they made him really stupid. I mean, just nobody likes this guy. He can't even talk because everyone's just like, no, shut the fuck up. We don't want to hear your voice. It's like, bruh, I understand that abuse. I'm just like, I feel for you. I feel for you, you annoying, ridiculous, shape-shifting moron.
So you find that the fact that they treat him like Kevin is unfounded.
Less, yeah. I'm getting a lot of Hootie from the Owl House vibes,
Yeah.
where Hootie is just happy to be there, and he wants to be everybody's friend, but like people legit just do not like him.
When it comes to stuff like that, it's usually more of we're outright trying to make it easy to understand why he would probably betray them somewhere down the line, which he does.
Yeah. And then they just hard reset him. Do you want to betray me? No, never! Have some chicken nuggets? Nope. You'll pay for this.
Super Adaptoid will remember this.
Evidently, this shit just kind of... This is par for the course with the M.O.D.O.K family. It begs the question, why do y'all keep the Super Adaptoid around if you don't even like him?
Because he is all appliances in one. He is the ultimate utility.
Then at least make him not talk.
Well, that just comes from the fact that he was originally designed to be able to take on the Avengers all at once.
That actually sounds a lot cooler.
Yeah.
Damn, they really dumbed down this character to make him an idiot.
I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. The Super Adaptoid has no mind of their own. The Super Adaptoid, well, you've seen like Justice League and Young Justice and shit, right?
Yeah.
He's the Amazo android.
Oh.
It's like you could make him smart and competent, but doing that leads to nothing good.
Oh, so they intentionally keep him stupid because if he were smart, it'd be a problem.
Oh yeah.
Especially
Like,
considering how often they abuse him.
oh yeah, the Super Adaptoid would dominate the Earth within a matter of seconds if he was actually intelligent.
Well, that explains a lot, because I was just wondering why they keep this thing around. Also, I love how they just unanimously agree, I like Toulouse better.
Honestly, it just feels like there are always two Lous. Like, at first I was just like, oh man, I don't know. Two of them, this might get annoying. But nope, it was just almost like they had always been there. And they just treat it like there was always two Lous.
I have an Andy Ollie situation going, I can already tell. It's pretty much leaning that way already, so it's just like, alright, so you two are Andy and Ollie, but you are yourself. Nice.
Yep, exactly.
This won't have sort of psychological implications in the future.
We'll see. I mean, let's be honest. Only one of them's actually gonna grow.
True.
Alright, did you want to talk about the ending, or...
Oh, for M.O.D.O.K? Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, might as well.
Thoughts, theories, opinions?
I'm curious as to where the next season is going to start, because it seems to look like M.O.D.O.K has jumped straight to Emperor of everything, of his own science nation and what have you, and it appears to be at the cost of his own family, so I want to see what he does, because if Season 2 opens up and we see next to none of his family throughout the entirety of the season, it might kind of spoil it.
Yeah.
Because, M.O.D.O.K's character on his own is just the fucking worst.
You got that right.
I mean, my fucking god, like, at certain points, it's just like, I almost rooted for you, but then you had to go and do something real fucking stupid and remind me why I should never root for you, because you're a goddamn idiot.
Oh my god, yeah.
Of idiots. My favorite dialogue exchange. You're an illiterate, but you love PBS. I'm Tin Man.
I love that. All of those
Shit
characters actually
actually
exist.
fucking dead. I died. Like I had to pause the fucking episode and just laugh. Fucking God, I died. You can hear the frustration in M.O.D.O.K's voice. It's like, look around, M.O.D.O.K. These are your people. You want to know why these are your people? It's just like you, they have an incredible stupidity about them. Like, as smart as you are, you're still dumb as bricks.
Oh man. Yeah, honestly. If he wasn't that stupid, the Avengers would never defeat him.
Yeah, it looks like in one timeline, he eventually learns to not be that stupid.
Yeah, that brings a lot of questions to the surface. The second season is planned, so I am wondering, like, is he eventually just gonna bring his family back, and will they ever forgive him for what he did? I kind of got over well, the whole robot situation kind of went in a direction that nobody was prepared for, so it's really hard to say.
For now, if anyone wants to hop on this, you should. It's really fucking hilarious. Um, be 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 prepared off rip to just dislike M.O.D.O.K. Because he's not supposed to be a likable character.
Oh, no. Honestly, one thing I will say is actually kind of funny at the moment is the fact that I think this is currently the only Marvel animated series airing right now. And God, it's probably one of the best things they've produced within the past 10 years.
I mean, Jesus. How many Marvel shows have come out since the first Avengers?
Ugh. Well, originally, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes came out around the same time to kind of. Because there's always something that goes hand in hand with a actual series that comes out. And um, I think Earth's Mightiest Heroes was supposed to be around the same time as the movie, or was it?
Earth's
No.
Mightiest.
No, Earth's Mightiest Heroes was before. It was Avengers Assemble that came out around the same time to capitalize on the Avengers movie, and that was a hot, steaming.
Like a bunch of crossovers with like Ultimate Spider-Man, which I wasn't that fond of personally.
With Ultimate Spider-Man, it when it started off and it was doing the whole Peter talks to the audience thing, I hated it. I hated it with a burning passion. It was literally not until it got later on into the series, and I'm talking season 3, which was half its lifespan, that I actually started to enjoy the series. Because it started introducing all the alternate Spider-Man. You had Spider-Man 2099, you had Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Ham, Miles Morales. Like, it was because they started doing Spider-Verse shit before, Spider-Verse came out that it was actually more enjoyable. And then they actually started introducing like the spider clones like Scarlet Spider and Agent Anti-Venom and Agent Venom, Clone Saga, Carnage. Like, it has some interesting ideas that I was actually a little bit more on board with. But a series shouldn't take what is essentially, started in 2012. Third season came out in 2014. 2 years for me to actually start enjoying it.
Yeah, that's not the best way to use your time. Not really, guys. Come on. I gave Looney Tunes show a chance with the first season, and it had its moments. That second season was meant to really deliver, and it fell flat. It fell really flat. I mean, there were a few moments that made me laugh, but for the most part, it was really boring. They have an episode where Porky is legit just trying to alter the heights of speed bumps in the neighborhood.
Are you serious?
That was the height of the episode, and I think either Bugs or Daffy wanted to be head of the neighborhood association for this exact thing. And I just remember sitting there watching this episode. I fell asleep during this episode. There was nothing exciting going on. I went back to watch this episode. I fell asleep again. Shit was so boring.
Yeah, honestly, that was essentially a lot of the Marvel properties. Avengers Assemble was boring in a lot of places. Had some great moments. Boring for most of it, right? Up until you got to like the second to last season, then it kind of got a little bit more interesting, but that's because it introduced like Kamala Khan and female Thor and Ant-Man and the Wasp and stuff. Hulk and the Agents of Smash. As someone who actually has read a lot of the Hulk family books, like that this was, and I say this with the loosest term possibly, based off of, large air quotes, this was Hulk and the Agents of Smash was based off of the Hulk family comic books, where you had, A-Bomb and She-Hulk and Red She-Hulk and Scar and all that. And then they basically turned them into, what's the word? Monster versions of the Ghostbusters. And, yeah, there was a reason why it only got 2 seasons.
Doesn't sound good when you describe it like that. It really does not sound good.
It wasn't. Because, there was a, comics, there was a major plot line where, you had Hulk's son, Scar, and how he was dealing with that. They never dive into it. They just make it seem like Scar is just some weird ape dude from outer space. And I'm just like, look, you don't get to use this character if you're not even going to do anything with this character.
Yeah, it defeats the purpose, really.
Yeah. The Guardians of the Galaxy series was. Huh,
I don't I don't need you to finish that thought. That says enough.
and then the newer Spider-Man series that they brought out, I actively stopped watching. And when I tell you that I have consistently watched Spider-Man content for years, since I was. Geez, when did the Spider-Man 90s cartoon came out? Like 1995? 96?
Maybe?
Yeah,
I really don't know.
since then, since the mid 90s.
Since then, okay.
Yeah, I actively stopped watching this series because it was just not so much just bad, but just dull. Everything it did was just dull. Part of
Yeah,
me,
it was kind of like they were trying to, run through all of Spider-Man's biggest plot points in record time.
yeah, essentially,
Like, it was just how do I put it? It's an okay series. It's not the best.
no. No, no, not even by a little bit. And I thought I would enjoy it just because it was introducing a lot of the Spider-Man family that a lot of Spider-Man series don't really get around to doing. That's literally the only reason why I enjoyed the last half of Ultimate Spider-Man, because they introduced all of his, allies and other Spider people. But honestly, the series did nothing with them, and I'm planning on going back to it just to see if they did anything interesting now that it's over. But yeah, I couldn't do this weekly. I'll marathon it, get through it, see what I felt about it, but only good thing to come out of the past 10 years or so would probably be Big Hero 6 the series, which, because of the nature of Big Hero 6, it is now no longer a technically Marvel property, but full on Disney property.
So, you know, not Marvel.
No, not really. Not anymore. Yeah, that's all I really got to say. Spent half of my time just dissing Marvel animation.
But we're dissing Marvel animation for so long that M.O.D.O.K is the breath of fresh air we're looking for
Yeah,
in Marvel animation.
yeah, yeah. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Anything else you wanted to say about M.O.D.O.K?
I love the choice to bring Patton Oswalt onto the cast. It just it wouldn't fit any other way if you ask me.
Yeah, honestly, anybody else wouldn't have brought the same appeal to it.
Anyway,
I think that's about it.